Welcome to A New View. This is Restored Ministries, and today we're going to be talking about what does anxiety look like for you. Right now, just before this, I'm sweating to death.
Anxiety looks like summer
this.
in Houston,
Texas. Oh my goodness, it's like so hot here. But no, I changed my words because I am not sweating to death. Sorry.
Oh, is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I just said, no, we
can't
cut that off. We cancel that off. But what does anxiety look like for you? I know for me with, being forced with my foot and not being able to walk, I got so much anxiety.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, the enemy started playing tricks with me, and he started saying like, you may never be able to, walk without a limp, or you put pressure on there. Forget about exercising,
Yeah.
And so I was getting more and more anxious the more I'd be like, okay, my foot doesn't hurt today. Okay, my foot's great. Somebody prayed for me. My foot feels healed. And then the next day it would be like, my foot would be like, I couldn't even put pressure on it.
Yeah.
I didn't drive for weeks. That caused anxiety. So
sure.
To me, that was anxiety. So I guess to boil down what anxiety really felt like to me, it felt like I was forcing, pushing, and striving something to happen beyond my control.
That's a good definition.
And it
About never
me
going
up.
anywhere.
And no, I was in a boot cast, foot up,
Yeah.
thinking like this, I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, so your anxiety was connected to the word control.
Yeah, control. Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. It was. It
Yeah.
caused a little bit of anxiety.
Interesting.
And we are asking, our whole show today is talking about what anxiety looks like for us, but we are not addressing like the full-blown medical condition of if you have anxiety.
Right.
We're talking more about situational anxiety or what it looks like for us, but
Exactly.
we really can't. I know I can't speak to a
Because there's
full-fledged disorder because it's a very real thing, and
Yes.
if it is
Yes.
a real thing, you know it because you cannot live your daily life without something happening that puts you into full like you're super anxious. As I was looking it up and reading.
And thanks for clarifying that, because there are some people that are debilitated by extreme anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
For me, I was thinking about this because this was a show idea that I was like, I really want to do something on this because I can think of a couple years ago. I remember asking. She wasn't really a really good friend of mine, but more of an acquaintance that I knew, and she was talking about how she's a super high achiever, but she couldn't sleep at night. Like she had insomnia. And I've been Facebook friends with her forever. I don't really follow her anymore, but she's very busy and does a lot. Like she's super high functioning, achieving, whatever. Like this girl can do a lot. Like I'm just like, holy cow, bro, you were a bomb. But she's talking about not being able to sleep and talking about having anxiety. And I was like, well, what does that look? I literally was like, when you say that, like, what does that look like for you? Because I think of, like, I have moments where I'm anxious. And like my really good friend Julie is someone that I can be really honest with her and be like, dude, this particular thing gives me anxiety. Like and one of the things I think of is when I walk into a room and there's a lot of people and I don't know where I'm gonna sit. I don't know, like I know it sounds really, really goofy, but I get a little anxious and I think
a lot of people do.
A lot of
anxiety
energy,
with crowds,
I feel like where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be doing? And that gets magnified if I'm late. And I hate being late. Like I hate it.
Late gives me anxiety.
Yes, it gives me anxiety. And my husband is so funny because he's like, we don't have to be early everywhere. Or we don't have to, like it's fine. And we're just two different people about that. And I'm like, dude, you give me anxiety when like you're not even getting ready and you should be getting ready. Like I just need to be worrying about myself anyway. But that'll give me anxiety. But also for me, I get hives every day, and I've gotten hives every day since like 2001, and they are manageable, and I hate to use the word control because I've struggled with that. Like I used to be very like, I just want to control them. It's not something I can control, and I hate to even say that sometimes because I'm like, you're giving up power and the power of that, but honestly, I've really tried to control it with my diet and what I'm eating and not eating, and I just...
But those cause you a lot of anxiety.
Yes, and that's the thing. It makes me more anxious to worry about how to fix it than it does to just be like, you know what, this is just the season I'm in right now, however long that will be, God, and I'm trusting you, and I'm going to make good choices, and if I see them, I'll deal with them, but if I just have to be over it, and I have to just, and one of the things the doctor talked to me about was taking deep breaths. He was like, when you feel them coming, you need to take deep breaths and just relax and not, because I literally am like, oh my gosh, my hives are coming. Like I could feel them coming underneath my skin, and it would give me anxiety. It makes me anxious. So
that whisper Jesus, my friend Annie shared yesterday about Jesus calling the devotional that when things, you know, when she's thinking about different things or whatever, renewing her mind, whatever we're doing, she said it's that whisper Jesus. So maybe it's that, you know, that quieting and just saying Jesus, you know, inviting him in, breathing him in, breathing anxiety out.
Yes.
I think anxiety is fear too for me.
Yeah.
Fear causes a lot of anxiety.
Me too. Yeah.
What are you thinking, Kim?
Kim's not anxious.
You know what's fun? It's not. I mean, I hear these things and I remember them because I used to be, and in fact, there was a season for me too that I used to take all of my concerns and they lived in my stomach, and so I had an ulcer for a while and stuff. And then I got over it, and I kind of don't care about a lot of things anymore.
Good for
and
you. Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
But another back to the distinction between like a real disorder and just people being anxious about stuff.
Right.
You know, we are anxious about things every day. It's something to some level.
Right.
Whether you're excited for something or whether you're, you know, just dreading something one way or another. But the same way that Houston and probably all of America used the term PTSD after Harvey, overused it. And overusing anxiety about things, I think, really desensitizes the true struggles of an actual disorder. And I think just in the same as Michelle in the beginning of this, you said dying from heat, and then took it back and broke the word vow. Don't walk around and say, "Oh, I have anxiety over this."
Right.
You're worried about
suffer
something.
from this.
You know, don't take that. Don't own it.
You're giving that diagnosis too much credit instead of, you know.
You're making the word really powerful for you, and you don't probably need to.
See, that probably does cause more anxiety.
Saying I have anxiety instead of I feel anxious.
Yeah, exactly.
My feeling will change in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But now I have a diagnosis. That's not what I want.
Good. That's good.
Because I'm like, I feel anxious. I feel pretty. I feel. You're absolutely right.
That's good.
That's how we are with feelings.
Yes, exactly.
And then our friend Shelby, I think on Facebook, posted yesterday. It said, "Stop thinking about everything so much. You're breaking your own heart." So much of the stuff that we worry about and stress over is just us spinning our little hamster wheel.
Nothing. Yeah, it will be nothing.
Yes.
That's good. That's
It
good.
is good.
I found Philippians 4:6-9 in the Passion Translation.
Let's hear it.
And so, I love this verse already, but I didn't really know.
Hold on. Say what it is again.
Philippians 4:6-9, and this is the Passion Translation.
Okay.
It was so good. It says, "Don't be pulled in different directions or worried about a thing. Be saturated in prayer throughout each day, offering your faith-filled requests before God with overflowing gratitude. Tell Him every detail of your life. Then God's wonderful peace that transcends human understanding will make the answers known to you through Jesus Christ. So keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real, honorable and admirable, beautiful and respectful, pure and holy, merciful and kind, and fasten your thoughts on every glorious work of God, praising Him always. Follow the example of all that we have imparted to you, and the God of peace will be with you in all things." And I love that because you know what? So many times I think for me, I had a tendency to be a complainer and, oh, what was me? And, you know, I'll never feel good again, or, you know, what is this? And giving all these diagnoses too much, you know, power to define me and my day, and really saying, I have a choice. I have a choice to either praise Him or to be pissed off today. I have a choice to either get up each morning and say, thank you for the day, be my strength in all things, or I can say, oh, life's hard, life sucks, like, you know, this and this and that. But I think to me, when I was really thinking about the anxiety and really being forced in that disability with my broken foot and the anxiousness and the striving and the pushing, and I was like, I was a complainer, and then I was like, you know what, you got to change that around, because you know, there could be a reason why there was a forced season. So I think, again, it's the gratitude is what I think kind of takes away that anxiety.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I agree.
A book we're reading, it's called A Taste for Truth. It's our Thursday night, and it's all geared, it's a study that's geared to overcoming emotional eating. And it's called Taste for Truth. It's by Barb Raveling. And she talked about the fairness line. If we wake up every morning and say, life's not fair, you know, I've been excluded, I've been ghosted, I've been, you know, I've been left on red, you know, nobody loves me, or I'll never lose this weight, or it's so hard, I want to do what they're doing, or I want to do what, you know, they're, you know, they look, you know, all these things, we can put that, you know, life's not fair. But let's look at this fairness line. The fairness line is there's some people that don't have enough food to eat on a day in and day out basis. Yeah. That's unfair.
Yeah.
My poor pity party, not on the same level.
The fairness line. If it's like a chronological line and you're here and those people have better stuff, you have to look at this end too, or you're not seeing the whole picture.
Yeah. And so that fairness line really, and so when I was thinking about this episode and I was thinking about this verse on there, and I really thought, you know what? I've got to keep gratitude. I've got to keep counting those gifts every single day, because I think that's where that peace that transcends all understanding here is what Philippians is talking about. That's when that peace, it's that choice again, coming back to the choice.
Yeah, I wrote that down. We have a choice. I thought about, I wrote these notes a while ago, but asking yourself, and this just comes from when we've been traveling and we're in different settings that I'm not a big control freak, but where, I don't even know how to say this, but, or even with, I could think of like settings where it's a place I really don't want to be, or with people I really don't want to hang out with, and I know it sounds bad, but you know what I mean, like you have to go somewhere because you have to be there.
Yes.
I put on here, ask yourself, what do you want to feel like in the moment? And this is not just in places that you don't want to be, but just when you know something's coming that maybe you're nervous about or excited about, or it's a big deal and you really want to be present. You are already thinking and worrying in advance. So don't do that, is basically what I take a deep breath and ask yourself that question. Then see yourself being that. And it goes back to when I was getting ready, when I used to train for Miss Texas, there was a guy, and he's passed now, and he was amazing, and I got to work with him for many, many years. His name's Don Baker. But he would talk to us so much about visualizing. That we had to visualize that we were already Miss Texas or whatever we were going for. For me, it was Miss Texas. And he was like, you have to walk into a room and you are already that person. You operate that person. It's not a fakeness. It's a being able to literally see yourself operating that way. And he would always talk to us about being open and outward. And that we do that with our mind, our body, and our body language. And it's so true, because I feel like I had a lot of training being in situations that I didn't know people, or around people that we were just completely different, but I was going to be around them, and I feel like we still do that all the time, right? And I think about, you know, how do I want to make people feel? It's not always about me, like not always about like how do I want to feel, but how do I want this family member to feel after I've interacted with them, or this group of people, like. Not so much that I care about what they think, but how did I make them feel? And I want to be open and outward, and know it's not always going to be perfect. But
and our
having
feelings,
those thoughts,
and our feelings are fickle.
They're
our
nuts.
Feelings will get us. They'll get us in a tizzy over so many crazy things, and then we'll be more apt to flake out or not follow through. But again, this taste for truth, it talks about renewing our mind, and I think that's really the key. Is call those things that aren't as though they were. You know, he was teaching you in that time to renew your mind and to say, you know, this is who I am. This is the vision of, and there's so many promises in the Bible that God says this is who you are. Yeah. And we have to put our name on them. We have to say that promise is mine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So subscribe to the promises, not the anxiety.
Exactly, because there's a promise for every problem. So what does anxiety look like for you? It can be big, it can be small, it can be so many different things. And so we just want to hear from you. So hashtag share your view and let us know kind of some things that you do. Maybe your favorite verse that kind of helps you renew your mind and gets you back to thinking about all the praise instead of the problems. So take care.